Yeah, so the pest guy, we pay him quarterly whether he comes here or not.
Yeah.
So you just let me know, as long as it's like legit, you just let me know.
It definitely
As a matter
is.
of fact, I think I'm standing.
They're chewing it up. They're leaving. It looks like they're leaving the sawdust. Fucking, it's starting to pile up.
All right.
You know they're chewing it up.
All right. How we doing, man? We ready?
Are you ready?
Where you want me at?
I want to start with you just a little bit. You can still stay in the shade just a little bit to the left. You're good. That way you can get a little shade. Do you feel? Is it warm enough? All right.
You just tell me where you want me at.
All right. You're good right there.
Yep.
All right. So just use your first name, but for the introduction, because they're gonna, when they look at it, they want to know who the shoot is, and I have you sign a waiver, right?
This is my first coffee. This is my first coffee.
You say, you know, my name's Ty, and then I'll ask you the question, but then you have to ask the question of yourself, because my voice won't actually be in it. It'll be like, you know, you're like, oh, okay. So the date is Thursday the 25th of July. 9:56 a.m. We are in Johnston, Rhode Island, in the United States of America. Hooah! And we are beginning our interview for A Day in the Life, a historic documentary. My name is Omni, and this is Tyron Smith. We're going to be answering the 4 questions as indicated by executive producer Ridley Scott, which are what's in your pocket, what do you fear, what do you love, and what would you change about yourself and or the world. Okay, Ty, so introduce yourself, please.
So Tyron Smith, veteran status or what?
Yep, all of it.
Okay, so Tyron Smith, United States Army. What else? I'll start over, but
just a little background about how you got here, why is it important for you to be here, and your role here, and what you think your role is as an American.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, Tyron Smith, United States Army. My role here at Operation Stand Down is the Director of Employment and Housing. I manage several grants that assist our veterans with a variety of needs and eliminating barriers. I got here because this is the place that I returned to after I left the service. My wife's from here. And my role is to continue servicing veterans.
Excellent.
Question.
Okay, so we're starting with doing an arc, which I think is exciting. What is in your pocket? So you ask yourself. Remember?
Does it have to physically be in my pocket?
No, it doesn't. As long as what they consider is what's on your person. What are you carrying?
Okay.
Yep. So you ask the question of yourself, and then you can go around, like you can say, like some people don't wear a watch, and that's interesting.
What is in my pocket? Nothing. I don't like anything in my pocket, but I think that what that means is I don't like to carry any baggage around. I don't like to carry any baggage, but there's nothing in my pocket and there's something in my pocket at the same time.
What does that mean?
So it's not there. There's nothing there because I don't like baggage. I don't like for baggage to appear that I have extra things.
Yep.
But I do. I have a lot. I have a lot of responsibilities. So I'm always thinking about what's in my pocket and how do I get it out of my pocket while it's empty. And that's a variety of things. So whether that's the role as me as a father to my children and a husband to my wife, or organizationally, what we're doing for veterans, how we're doing it, and to the staff here at Operation Stand Down.
Okay. We're gonna keep rolling.
So I'm confused on where I look. Do I look there or do I look
see,
there?
that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing is
Because I'm looking at your eyes.
I know that's what we want.
Okay.
Because the camera is giving the full body image. I am giving this is a personal, like you're an honest person, I'm an honest person. So the truth comes from you look at me in the eye. That's basically showing people the background. So when they edit it together, right? That's what they like. People are like, oh, I feel him. People from another country, I can relate to him. Doesn't matter whether he's in America, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to go off cuff and ask you, because the other question is outside of the four is what is most important to you, like in life? What's most important to you? What do you consider what holds primacy above? See, this is what I think is the motivational core. Everybody has a motivational spine, and that's every action that they take on a 24-hour basis is really based on if they know what it is. Some people don't know. Characters in the story don't know.
Just shoot with the question.
Yeah. What do you consider to be the most important element of your life? What's the driving force behind you?
Right. So the most important element of my life. What is the driving force behind me? So the driving force behind me are the core values that I carry. Very important. Some of you may be familiar with this. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. I have a card that basically has those values in my pocket. Or in my wallet. So, it's because nothing's supposed to be in my wallet. So, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. Very important to me. It's my guiding factor daily in life. It's something that I teach my kids. It's something that I teach the staff that I'm in charge of. It is the guiding factor to every decision that I make. So that's what's important to me. That's the driving factor day to day.
Even without you saying that, I feel that from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons, like, we're brothers the day we met.
There's
And how people spoke about you that's your reputation precedes you.
Yeah.
And that's fucking awesome.
Everything is important to me, and I want it, especially if I'm dealing with a veteran client. I want you to know that I got you. Not even just a veteran client. If I'm dealing with my son, if I'm dealing with my wife, I want them to know that I'm sincere. And it comes from those values. And the day-to-day mission, the task, the way that I operate, and what's important to me, it all comes from those values. So I always fall back on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, big question.
Okay, ready for it.
What do you fear? You gotta ask yourself.
What do I fear? So I guess I fear a bunch of things, huh? We all fear a bunch of things, but what do I fear? So you didn't ask me to do this, but I'm gonna boil it down to one.
Hold on 1 second. Just making sure this
Yeah,
is
go
still
ahead.
still
I
shooting.
need the time to think.
Okay. And feel free to move in the shade. I just wanted to start with you with a silhouette of light.
Yeah, so I can move.
Yep, you can move.
Okay, I'll move over.
Be free to
Just a
move.
tad bit. Boom. So what do I fear? I guess I fear life. I fear life because for everything that we see that's good, that comes from life, like everything you see behind me that's green, and fed by the sun, and we're nourished by the planet that we live on, I fear it. I mean, we're really on this large rolling rock going through outer space at millions of miles an hour as we speak. But I fear it because I know it will all go away. At some point in time, it will all go away. And with life comes love. It comes, there comes work, there comes passion, there comes leisure, pleasure, sex. All of that goes away. And the need for us to be together is kind of a natural thing for humans. I mean, there's ants right here and they're together, right? Not just humans, but animals, insects, we kind of want to be together. Just knowing that I have 2 kids, I have a wife, that someday that will all end. And not being a man of faith where I think that there's some place for us to go and that we will see each other in the afterlife, but a man of faith that I believe in a higher order.
So you don't believe?
I don't just
believe that we
disregard it.
go on. You think this is it, one life?
It may be it, but I also am not ignorant to the fact that we don't know what's after. We barely know what's here and what's around us. But so I fear life because I know that it's very rewarding, And the selfish side of me doesn't ever want to see that go. I have to leave my kids one day. They have to leave me, and hopefully I go before them. But I do know that there's situations in which, some of the people that I deployed with, young men and women who died in their 20s, they left their parents. They left somebody stateside. And at that point in time, something ends. So I fear life because it's rewarding, and it's vicious, and it's, so it's cyclical.
What do you hope to be your legacy?
What do I hope to be my legacy? What do I hope to be my legacy? What I hope to be my legacy is how I think of people who I regard highly, who aren't here anymore. So I'm thinking of my grandfather. Values. So his values are now mine. When I smell certain things, when I see certain things, I think of Joe. That was my grandfather's name. When people talk about him, when I talk about him, it's in high regard. So I hope to be my legacy that people have a good perception of me and realize that I'm a good person.
Do you believe that evil exists?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you ever met it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I hope that people have a good perception of who I was and can speak well about me after I'm gone. And I hope that's carried on generations. I always tell my son, I said, listen, someday I'm going to go. My older son's 17, my youngest is 3. And I say, look, someday I'm not going to be here. So we have this star in the sky that we like. It's Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse. It's the shoulder of Orion. It's only in the winter months, which I hate the winter. But we've picked that star. Like, hey, I'm going to be on that star looking down. Hopefully that star is still around.
Right.
But so anyways, I'll be there. That you can look at me, you can look for me as a guiding point if you need something physical in that star. But we both know I'm not there.
Right.
But there I am, and I'm always here. I'm always going to be in your heart. I'm always going to be in your thoughts. I'm always going to be all around you. Maybe not physically or in that ghost form that we imagine somebody being around, but I'll be there. And as long as I'm there, as long as you go, hey, that reminds me of my dad, I still get to live. So I feel good knowing that, look, Joe still exists in my life because I smell something, it's his, or I do something and go, hey, this is what Grandpa Joseph would have done, things like that. So you only die when people forget you and nobody talks about you. So that's why evil is still alive. Just to go back to your point, because we talk about Hitler, we also talk about Martin Luther King. So those people live on forever.
Yep. My plan is, because like I told you, it's a story arc.
Yeah.
That's why you'll notice, like I said, I'm following the rules right now, but I am literally physically arcing so that the last point that you make, it's like a blinding light, when you get to people who have died and come back. Some say that there's nothing. I've died a couple times, OD. There was nothing. It was just black. So I was like, you people don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But in movies, and a lot of people who have been, who are religious, I'm a religious person, but I didn't see anything. Who knows what that means?
Yeah.
They talk about the light at the end of the tunnel. People don't realize, you don't have to go to some other afterlife. The light at the end of the tunnel can be in an actual story about a real person, where physically, when the audience is looking at it, they see you started in one point, and the arc doesn't have to go like a rainbow. You can actually do an arc like this, right? So on your last point, I started back here, I arc so that the very last statement you make, because in the movie, the original movie that they did, which I didn't like the way it ended, because it starts in the dark, 12:01 a.m., 12 midnight, and it ends at 12 midnight. It's dark when it starts out, and it's dark when it ends, and they ended on a kind of a bad note. The chick was saying that, I thought something, because she knew she was going to get shot. I thought something special was going to happen today, and to be honest, she was upset. I think she was close to tears. She was like, and nothing really special happened, and it ended in darkness. I was like, yo, if I'm arcing a story and my name's going to be attached to it, it is about happy endings, and we're headed.
It's got to be for you. You like superheroes, man.
Right. That's what
superheroes don't die.
That's my breakfast.
Yeah.
That's my breakfast. The other day, you had me laughing for days. You came outside, you were looking up, you were like, Omni, I found myself driving down the road laughing about that shit. I'm not kidding you. I'm like, that is so hilarious shit. My mother would love you.
Oh yeah.
So now we've gotten over the darker issue.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I have to, in order to be able to see the camera, I have to not have the light in my eye. So maybe, actually, I could kind of do it a different way. Yeah. So I'm gonna end with the blinding light.
Okay. So should I face you this way?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Okay. Now we got some shade. All right. So now let me just. I'm gonna pan in. Bigger question.
Uh-oh, here we go.
What do you love? Don't forget to ask the question of yourself.
Yep. I mean, obviously it would be my family, but I can't really. Who do I love?
Might even say, you might begin with, this is kind of the odd thing. Everybody has a different definition of love, right?
Well, I think I would start with, I'll go, what do I love? What do I love? I love myself. And as much conflict that I think that we all have internally with confidence or being hard on yourself, as much as I'm hard on myself or the things that I may not like about how I handle certain situations, I think because I pay attention to those things, I love myself in that I want to fix it. And loving those around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your community, your associations that you're tied to. You have to love yourself before you love, and as selfish as that sounds, you have to love yourself before you love others, even if they come from you. You have to be able to be critical of yourself. You have to be able to be introspective, be thoughtful, and loving yourself and doing those things leads to you asking important questions like what you're asking me. You're asking me those important questions because you love yourself. And you, out of that, I think you love your community, your family, your friends. You have to love yourself. I love myself. Period.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this one, it took me quite a bit of thought. I've thought about it for days, and it changes. It's changed every day since I've asked you.
Yep.
And I'd like you to answer both, even
Okay.
though it's an and/or question.
Okay.
What would you change about yourself? And we're talking about not in the future, all right? We're talking about, say, I believe no one is guaranteed tomorrow. So
Got
I
it.
live by a 24-hour standard. I plan for the future
Got it.
based on the 24-hour period. So the directors, this is just a suggestion that they made, but I think it's crucial because the film is about the year 2020, not about 2021. And nobody gives a damn about 2021 because we may not see it. Say you had 6 months. This is my question to you. Say you had 6 months left. Somebody gave you a diagnosis or something, and they were like, "Oh, the gig is up at the end of 2020." So if you could change something about yourself, and it was within the realm of the possible, whatever you believe is possible. Anything you can conceive of is possible, as far as I'm concerned. If you had 6 months to make some sort of change, and that actually kind of goes back to the question of legacy. If you change something about yourself within the 6 month period, the people who are most important to you will also be, because they're in your closest sphere of influence, will also be changed by that change that you literally, physically decided to make a change about. So if you could make a possible change this year, with it, we got July, August, September, November, December. If you could change something, even if it was just being able to bench 10 more pounds, what would you change about yourself if you could?
It's a good question. Is this knowing that you have 6 months left? For a fact?
You don't have to know that, but I'm putting it as I'm trying to give it a confined space because some people they think they're gonna live forever. That's just a fact. So they're like, oh well, I'm gonna become a world leader. In 6 months, you're not gonna become a world leader unless you already have a qualification to be that, right? This could even be something you're not even qualified to do, right? So you can answer it both ways. You can answer it as I would change this year based on the fact that I think I'm going to live 2 or 3 more years, or you can really condense it to the idea. You're not. You and I both know we are not guaranteed 24 hours, right?
I know what I would do.
All right.
So, can you phrase the question again?
What would you change about yourself if you could this year?
So, what would I do if I could change anything about myself this year?
Yep.
If I could change anything about myself this year, it would be to have more fun.
Yeah.
I do not have as much fun as I think I should, and I'm talking about leisure.
Yeah.
I'm talking about vacationing. I'm talking about, I play it safe. I play it safe. I play it close to the vest.
Why?
Because I'm responsible for so much, and I know people count on me, and I want to be accountable to them. So I play it safe in my life. I mean, I don't really you're not going to catch somebody who speeds. You're not going to catch somebody in me who skydives. I'm
Have
not.
you skydived?
No. I'm not the type of person to do something like cave diving, or I do scuba diving, I do hiking, but it's real safe.
Is that because of family and responsibility?
It's because of family and responsibility, but I would change it about me because I think sometimes I hold back because I still want to be present. And if given a confined space where I knew that I had X amount of time left, or look, nobody's guaranteeing next year, what could I change about myself right now? I don't know, man. I'd probably grow my hair out. I'd grow long hair. I wouldn't shave. I mean, you don't see me really too often without being shaved.
Yep. Never.
Most people don't.
Never once.
I don't have a tattoo. I'd probably get a tattoo. I'd probably speed today. On the highway.
You don't speed?
I'd probably speed today. No,
speed?
I don't speed.
You're a law? Would you consider yourself a law-abiding citizen?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
I don't do any drugs.
Yep. Never have?
High school,
Yep.
yeah, but I don't do any drugs.
Yep. You drink?
I do drink. I have an occasional, beer or glass of wine or something like that. But I'd hang loose. I really would. Because I think if I only had a certain amount of time left, or if somebody said, hey, look, this isn't guaranteed in the future, what would you change about yourself? I would want to make sure that I'm able to have fun reasonably. I still want to be there for my family. I still want to be there for my friends and my community, and I don't want to hurt anybody else. But I'd hang loose. I don't know. Maybe I'd quit my job and buy a surfboard and just sell my truck and just do that. It's in me. It's just not what you see. I'm a total beach bum. I am. So I would be that guy where you'd be like, what happened to Ty? He's got an afro lying on a beach somewhere with
afro.
facial hair. I got the Keanu Reeves patches going on because I don't grow full beard, but that would be me, man.
Now, this is because it's considered a globally historic documentary.
Yep.
It is because the reason it's being shot around the world is so that people can get a vantage point of other people that they will never get to know because maybe they never travel. So that's why they asked this question. You have an opportunity with this. This is the great thing about it. It's a platform for you in a sentence, in a single word. You can use a single word and a single facial expression. People will get that. To affect. This is what makes it such a beautiful thing. You have a platform to affect change in the world with any message that you want to say. We've already discussed values and goodness. That's what you and I share. If you want to make the world a better place, you and I both believe you just got to be good, right? On a 24-hour basis, it's just about being good. You have a chance right now with anything that you say to affect the people of the world. If something you could say right now might change the world and make it a better place and make it continue to be good, maintain the status quo, because it's not all good. You and I both agree. Or you could say something, anything that comes to mind off the cuff. If you had a message to the world that would change the world not necessarily for the better or for worse.
I got it.
Okay.
If I had a message to change the world and make it better, I would say, this is off the cuff,
Yep.
but I would say stop eating animals.
What? Oh, really? Are you a vegetarian?
I'm a vegan.
Really? Holy shit.
See, you didn't know that, man. I'm like an onion. You're getting different layers.
That fucking blows my mind.
Stop eating animals.
Wow.
Stop eating animals. It's better for the environment. I think we'll all be happier, live a little bit longer. We'll have less health issues. Healthcare will be a little bit better. It's not just about animals, cute, cuddly things that you don't want to kill, but it's about the factory farming and the impact that it has in our environment is tremendous. I mean, you could throw away plastic bottles and drink out of plastic bottles every day. You can buy a 24 pack and throw them out, and it's still not as bad as going to Burger King or McDonald's and having your cheeseburger. And it's a worldwide impact. Look, COVID-19 probably comes from some type of wet animal industry. Stop eating animals.
Do you believe that it was this is a question.
I don't know.
What do you believe? This is actually the reason that they're shooting it this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, because the last one was done 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't because Ridley Scott needs money, freaking multi-billionaire, right?
Yeah.
It's because this is a globally historic film during the most historic year for you and I and everyone else who lives on the grid in some form of civilized society. So this is what's on everybody's mind who's within the grid. And this is what people are talking about, and this is what we'll end on, kind of with the light. I'm going to end with a shot in the light, a blinding shot. One, I would ask you just answered it, what you thought might be the source of it.
Yep.
This is what people are concerned about and why they turn to heroes. We live literally in the state of hope. Rhode Island has an anchor. We hold it down. People look to heroes to hold it down and to be optimistic and hopeful, because when you're in times of darkness, people look to the leaders. And if the leader is in a negative, down, a hopeless state, they bring everybody down with them. All right, that's the captain of the ship. That's the commander. So you with your answer will definitely shape the people that are affected by you. Anybody that listens to you and they're gonna find out about you through the interview.
Yeah.
If you bring them down, you might not know it, but they respected you so much just from watching you and listening to you for a few minutes. They're like, now that they have identified with you, now you could take them anywhere you want to go. And an evil motherfucker would be like, now I've got my audience hooked. They'll seed an idea. That's what Inception was about. They'll seed an idea which will take people down, because some people do want to blow the whole freaking world up.
Yep.
So you now have an opportunity, based on your perspective, because we've all lived in it for a few months, to just say something. I hope it would be a hopeful message about, no, I'm not even going to say that, because that's not my right to say that.
What do you want?
Tell them what's going to happen. Based on your calculated... Oh, hold on.
I don't think he's coming all the way back. Oh, he is. Yep. So based on what?
Based on your education and your personal experience, I think these are the two things that matter most. Everybody calculates the present and the future. Anybody who's had any basic math knows everything is stats. Everything is numbers. So you're in the present always calculating your actions based on your stats, your life experience, as well as your ability to calculate what's about to happen next. That's how you dodge bullets. On a highway, you can tell, people telegraph the fact that they're probably going to try to bump in front of you. Now you've had a lot of time to digest the present. I'm sure you're in there. To digest the present, and I'm sure you, like most people, have projected a year from now, and I like the idea of based on what everybody said. I'd like you, because this will air. It will premiere at the beginning. I'm not sure if it's exactly January 2021, but since it will be projected at that time, you could actually say, and then when they look at the film in 2021, it really shows how educated and enlightened you are in the present, because you're like, well, 6 months from now, go.
I think 6 months from now.
And we're talking global.
Yeah. 6 months from now, I hope we're in a better spot. I hope that people are listening to science. People are listening to scientists. And I hope the leaders of the world, every president and ambassador, is able to work together to kind of figure out the best way to protect their constituents. But also, hopefully, we're in a spot where we have a vaccine, and we're doing some things like hugging, high-fiving, giving some dap, watching some ball games, having family over for anniversaries and weddings and birthdays, and I think we will. I think we'll rally. We always do. We've been through worse, and things will get better.
Now we're talking about the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, man.
Right? You just gave the message. So their hearts are right where you want them to be. You chose. I like it. Gives me hope. I believe in you.
Thanks, buddy.
Heroes also have to have heroes that they admire in order to keep them going.
Yep.
You know? Leaders need leaders.
Absolutely.
You're the fucking man.
You're the man, dude. Thank you. Tough questions, but it's good things to talk about. I think.
Doesn't it let you know more about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, and also like I think people don't have.
Oh, let me take 3 shots.
Go ahead. Where
3
you want?
actual stills.